All right, welcome back to Kings of Opinion, episode 73. We got everyone back in the building for this week. You got Big Ern and the Wanderer. Say hello, guys.
Hello.
Welcome.
Okay, so I am fresh back from Nashville.
Yes. How was it?
I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm exhausted. It was fun, don't get me wrong. There's people everywhere. It gives me almost like a New Orleans or Austin, Texas, like I think it's 6th Street type vibe. I don't know if you guys ever been to either one, but I fortunately have been to all three. So to me, if I had to rank the three, it'd be Austin first, then Nashville, then New Orleans.
Okay.
And I guess I get into why. It's tough. They're literally almost all the same. Like they all have that same street. Everyone drinks on. There's all these bars, everything else, whatever. New Orleans is probably like the dirtiest because you're allowed to drink on the street.
And the oldest and
Right. You know, so it's like a little. If you're not into the history and all that other stuff, you may not appreciate it.
Yeah, I've been to New Orleans.
Right. I liked it. Nashville was
I had a
just.
great time.
Yeah. Right. It was good. Right. Nashville was just like all music all the time. You know what I mean? So they have Broadway, and there's bars and restaurants all up and down it. And I don't care if it was a hole in the wall bar, and I'll talk about that in a few minutes. They had someone playing there. The only place that I actually was able to think while I was in there and like just have a conversation was the DraftKings bar. They have like a DraftKings bar there.
oh.
So it was kind of cool. I don't know if that's new or whatever. It looked rather newish.
Nobody playing in there.
No. Well, at least not on for Sunday Night Football. And it was the only place that whole weekend that I actually was able to hear the football game was the Sunday night game. Everywhere else, it was just band after band after band. And I know what everyone's thinking. It was all country music. You'd be wrong. It was just bands playing all different types of music.
Really?
Like they were singing Run DMC songs and different rap songs and different pop songs. And some bands were big, some bands were just one person, you know.
A lot of different acts.
Yeah, it was crazy. And like we went to the Kid Rock bar, restaurant, whatever you want to call it, and it was ginormous. It's 4 floors.
Wow.
And like the first 2 floors are like almost like a concert kind of hall kind of thing, just with tables and the bars in the middle. I have pictures on Instagram and videos and stuff like that. You can check them out on Instagram and TikTok at Kings of Opinion, by the way. But the first floor is nice big circular bar. The band's playing up in the front, and everyone's sitting around. And the second floor, there's no middle, so it's open, and you just have the side. So everyone's looking down, which is where I was sitting, because there was a bar in the back. So I sat looking forward at the band, and the bar's behind me, so all I had to do was turn around and get a drink and go back to my seat. So that was cool. The third floor had, I think it was the techno, and then the fourth floor, or like a DJ, maybe not techno, but like a DJ, and then the fourth floor had a band. But what's surprising to me is you couldn't hear the other stuff. Like I was only hearing what I was seeing, which was kind of cool. And if you went to the third floor, you'd only hear the third floor, you wouldn't hear anything else. And I would assume the same with the fourth floor, because I couldn't hear anything that was going on.
And every floor had people in it.
Every floor had people in it.
Wow.
Right. And this thing was massive. It's like half a city block. You know what I mean? It's on the corner, so it goes back into the street, not on the avenue. But it was huge, and every place was like that. And there was like a ton of rooftop bars, bands playing all over the place. Like there were multiple bands in the same bar. It was wild. So if you like that kind of stuff, which sadly I don't, right? I think you guys know me well enough by now. Like I'm not a big music guy.
Right.
That's what you're here for. But it was still enjoyable. But I'll tell you this: by Sunday, I was done. You know,
So you guys were able to go to the game and still go out for the Sunday night game?
Yeah, you can say that. I mean, there was a little break in between. Like, you know normally how we do our football Sundays, right? And it's like 1 to 7 watching football and we go home.
Yeah.
So we went with the tailgaters. So Friday, they had a 3-hour thing once we landed at a bar, all you could eat and drink.
Oh,
we
nice.
did that. It was, I think, the Lost Patty. Great bar. A little off the beaten path, so I get why we were there. But it was great. The food was good, everything. The drinks, fine. The bartenders were fast and helpful. It was great. Then you had second day. We were at the Red Door Saloon, which is the opposite direction off the beaten path. Another kind of outside bar, but it was cool. We were watching no band there, just music, which was great. Eat, drink, barbecue, all that stuff. Food was a little There's like some food truck that they had, Roscoe's food truck or whatever. You know, it was okay. Let's put it like that. And then they gave us pizzas. And let me tell you something. There's one thing that Tennessee does not have. It's pizza. Ernie, I wouldn't even feed it to our dog if we had a dog.
Wow.
I had a
That
piece.
bad, huh?
Well, not only that, but I couldn't find a regular slice there. Every slice or box I went into had like peppers and like pepperoni and onions on it. I'm like, who orders 20 pizzas of that? Like no variety, like no just meat lovers, no pepperoni, no sausage, no regular pizza. And it was thin crust, almost like Domino's. But I'll tell you folks right now, if you guys dislike Domino's or like those franchise pizzas, think again. I don't know where they got this pizza from, but it was a cardboard. It was like eating a cardboard box. Barely any cheese, barely any sauce. It was disgusting. And you know my saying is, there's no such thing as bad pizza. I met my match. I lost. I found it. And I don't know if that speaks for all the pizza down there, but I confirmed with other people that the pizza's just not great. So I'm assuming all across the board, no good pizza. So that was Saturday.
Well, outside New York, it's probably
Right.
tough.
But you know, you find places that has decent pizza in places, right? This pizza, and it was the same pizza at the tailgate. So we wake up, we get to the tailgate at 9 o'clock. It is the hottest day of the weekend there. I have my jersey on, I'm dying. I take it off. I'm literally in a wife beater getting some sun, drinking vodka at 9 in the morning. Right? Not good. So we wound up leaving, going into the game. We check out the whole stadium. We walk around it, whatever. Old stadium, but nice. It was, you know, nice enough. Like, you know what I mean, on the sides and everything. Like, they had these little huts for food and everything like that. And they had food everywhere, like, when you get out of your seats. The game was great. The Jets won, thank God. I finally saw Rodgers. I actually caught a good clip. I don't know if you guys saw it. I was actually just filming them in the red zone, and they wound up scoring the touchdown at the time, so it was great. It was pretty cool. And then they would chant the Jets chant, so that was good. And then once the game was over, we left. It took us forever to get an Uber, and we went back to the room because I was like soaked. So everyone chilled out for like pretty much the 4 o'clock games. We went to this really cool. Me and Devang went to this really cool barbecue spot. It's called LD's. It's in another neighborhood. It was only like 10 minutes away. That was good barbecue. The brisket was juicy, tender. Their sauce that they had at the table was fantastic. The pulled pork was fantastic. None of it was dry. And then I tried this grits casserole.
Oh, I love grits.
So I'm fine with grits. Like, I don't mind them. It's not something I would normally get unless I'm in the South, because that's where it's at, right? So I was told to find some kind of casserole, and I was like, oh, I'm reading it, and it's like peppers and onions, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't deal with it. But then it was like Gouda cheese and this and that. I was like,
And
whatever.
Was it made with eggs as well?
I don't even know. I couldn't tell you that. I'm assuming it was very creamy. So maybe, but I wind up ordering me and Devang was like, you want to just get a bunch of meat and then a couple sides? So we got a bunch of platters. It was the brisket, the pork, actually the brisket and the ribs, and it comes with 2 sides each. So I'm like, listen, they only have 7 sides here. I'm not getting 3 platters and having 6 sides. I don't know how big they're going to be, right? So we just got 2 platters and just a pulled pork sandwich without the bun so we could try the pulled pork. The sides were like in those little cups, so they're very small. But I'll tell you this, the grit casserole was phenomenal. And I didn't taste, maybe they just pureed all together. I didn't see a speck of either onions or peppers in it.
Wow.
It was almost like a paste, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
It was so good. Like, I'll eat from that place till the end of time if I ever go back. Like, I'll make it a point to go back there and try, because I missed out. I wanted to get the burnt ends because I love burnt ends.
Yeah.
They had them there, but I saw it after we ordered, so I'm like, if we're still hungry, bro, we're getting burnt ends. But we must have ate like 2 pounds of meat, right?
Wow.
So I was like, I'm full. I'm not eating anymore. The mac and cheese was phenomenal as well. It was so creamy. Like, you know, the difference of opinion, right? The Roscoe's truck, the mac and cheese, it was okay. It was very cheesy, but it was like almost like a cake. Like it was very like thick and like.
And that's the difference, right? That was part of the whole tailgate thing. So they're cooking out of this truck for all these people. So you're not going to get the same quality as you
At the restaurant.
going for the restaurant and
But this
eating on your own.
This mac and cheese was so creamy. It had a different taste to it. It was the bomb.
Nice.
Right. So we did all that, and then we decided to go. Devang wasn't around when me and the other guys, Tony and Paul, went to the DraftKings bar. So we wanted to go check it out. So we go there. Paul and Tony did their own thing there. They didn't want barbecue, so they went to Kid Rock to eat a steak, which looked pretty good, I guess. But you know, you get a good steak around the corner. I can make you a good steak, whatever. So they went there. So they were pretty much in the hotel room for the afternoon. Me and Devang got out at 6, had the dinner. We were watching the Kansas City game from there. The cool part about a lot of these places, the restaurants have like the bars right there, so you could watch the game and just sit at a high top and eat your dinner and watch the game. So that's what we did, and then we went out to the night game, and then they did what I don't even remember what they did. I was so done by then. Like we waited for them for a half. After the half, Devang was like, "Oh, I'm good with going back because we're leaving the next day." I was like, "Yeah, me too. I'll just get some drinks at the hotel and just watch the game, you know, in the room." And that was pretty much it. But it was just a lot of walking, moving around, going bar hopping, bar to bar, drinking, whatever. But I'm good. I think I'm good with Nashville. It was fun. Do I ever have to do it again? I don't. If people wanted to go, I would. I'll just leave it like that. You know?
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. The music's not for me.
Was
I
there
guess.
a lot of Jets fans there?
There was actually. There were so many Jet fans there, and that was that was the funny thing about the game. The game was mostly quiet.
Well, it wasn't a very exciting game for 3+ quarters.
I would say to the half it wasn't that exciting, but like it was their home opener, and it just seemed like all the Titans fans they just couldn't get it going, and you just heard the Jets fans, and we got hosed on a couple early calls, stupid penalties, which screwed us up. But Aaron Rodgers looked good. I finally got to see him live, and I was happy about it. So the trip was an overall success. You know what I mean?
Good.
So that was good. But leading into that, the Jets gave me a W. What about your Cowboys? What happened there?
I don't know. Are the Saints this good? I mean,
I think they're going to come back to earth.
I would think so. I just heard something on the radio on the way here. So far this season, they've scored on 14 out of 16 possessions.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, that's not sustainable by no means.
I mean, I can't say that I'm not happy for David Carr because I think he's had it rough the last few years. So, and these coaching changes that they made, maybe they're the real deal. Who knows? I mean, Kamara is looking great.
Yeah, he 4 touchdowns. I don't even know how many yards he had, but 4 touchdowns.
I mean, would you have ever guessed as well as New Orleans played their first week 1 that the Cowboys defense was going to be that bad?
Right. And that's my takeaway from it is how did they get that bad in a week? And now you're going into next week. You got to play the Ravens, who are also 0-2. They lost a heartbreaker,
Yeah.
And that's a tough game to pick. We'll get into our picks and I'll explain.
How
I guess, why
crazy is
later.
that too? The Ravens. This is the 3rd straight year that they've started 0-2.
Wow.
Crazy. And same thing with the. I think the Bengals did it 2 years too. They started off 0-2. They were saying something about that when they lost to Kansas
Maybe
City.
that's what I'm talking about. The Bengals. The Bengals
Okay.
have started 3 years in a row.
0-2 and made the playoffs every year.
Right.
Isn't that wild?
That's who I'm thinking of. You're
Okay.
right, you're right.
Yeah. All right. So that's kind of wild too. I mean, there was a lot of crazy stuff that happened this weekend. Did you get to see any of the football?
I was watching the Jets mostly. I did watch a little bit of Kansas City and Cincy, but I always check in with NFL Network. It's like the poor man's red zone.
Right.
What was I gonna say? Niners going down. That was a huge surprise.
Yeah, to Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
2-0 Sam Darnold and Minnesota Vikings.
Flying high right now.
Unbelievable.
I'm trying to think what else. Detroit lost too, right? The Bucks won that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bucks are 2-0.
I think the Bucks are 2-0 as well. Yep.
Trying to think what else.
The funny thing with me,
Is there any other big or surprising?
I don't know if there's other surprising ones, but there was just a lot of games that I guess we picked against that could have been like closer games. I guess you want to say, like
Right.
the Cowboy game for one,
Yeah.
right?
I remember when the score flashed on the screen from that, and it said like it was like 35. They had like 35 points, I think.
Yeah,
at one point.
we kept watching it off the scoreboard, and and the Titans they don't have the scores up all the time, so you got to look at the board and see what scores they're going to give you. The cool thing that they were doing is showing the red zone. So like every time someone would score, they would show they would show the score. So we were able to see that, but it was kind of wild. That game just kept going up and up and up. I'm like, damn,
Yeah.
they're getting rocked. I'm actually happy that the Raiders won. To be fair, when they beat the Ravens, I kind of like what's the coach's name?
Pierce.
Antonio Pierce. Yes, I kind of like him as a coach.
Yeah, I mean he was a good player. Played for the Giants, right, for many years.
Oh, and another upset actually. If you think, I mean, they were the home team, but the Packers-Colts game, as good as the Colts were in Week 1 when they played Houston.
Right. A lot of people picked it.
Right.
In that game.
Well, because Jordan Love wasn't playing, and they snuck out a win, so that's another kind of upset, I think.
Yeah,
even though they were at home, the Seahawks beat the Patriots, so we'll see how that goes with the Patriots this Thursday against the Jets. But just a lot of crazy. Whoa, how about the end of the Chiefs-Bengals game?
I didn't get to see what happened.
So they were going back and forth,
Right, I know it was tight. Yeah.
And they gave Mahomes the ball at the end with I want to say 40-something seconds,
Yeah.
and they marched down, and
It's
they,
like you can't get away from that. It's like
you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, it wasn't a bad call. It was definitely pass interference. But it's like, come on, guys. You had that game wrapped up. And it's, I feel bad for Burrow because he's definitely the real deal. He's definitely, and you could see it after the game, man. He was freaking pissed. I mean, first of all, he threw his helmet on the sidelines, but you could tell, like, even when he met Mahomes in the middle of the field, it was like quick, high five, and then that was it. It
Yeah.
was gone.
Well, I'd be pissed too because you're marching down the field, they score, they go ahead, and then it was 4th down and whatever. Let's just say 7 or whatever it was.
4th and 8.
Okay.
4th and 8 or 4th and 9.
Right, and Mahomes throws the ball to whoever. They stop the play, it was incomplete pass, and they call pass interference on the Bengals. But it wasn't right away.
Delayed.
Yeah, not so delayed, but delayed enough
Late-
where everyone
late flag.
cheered and were
Late-
like, "Yeah!"
late
You
flag.
see the sideline, you see Burrows throw his hands up, and you're like, "Yeah!" And then literally a second or two later, you see a flag come out, and he's like, "Oh!" And you could see how pissed he was. But that game,
And unfortunately, it's like you expected nothing less.
right?
Expected nothing less.
It's almost I want to call it the Tom Brady effect now with Mahomes. Like, you can't give Brady any time to win the game at the end because something is
It's
just going to
gonna go
happen.
their way.
Right, and then they're going to wind up winning the game, and that's exactly what happened in this game. So felt bad for them. And then you wrap it up. I guess we had the Falcons Eagles. What about that?
That was last night, right?
Yeah.
Woo!
Well,
The Falcons won.
Now,
right?
yeah,
Woo!
the Falcons won, but that's another one. That first of all, that play where they went for it and they fucking passed it, instead of running the
in
ball.
the first half?
And then,
Oh.
at the end of the game.
I was gonna say I saw
And
when they didn't
Saquon
take.
Barkley dropped the ball.
Oh,
He catches
wow.
that ball, the game is over.
Yeah.
I
It
did-
might have even been a touchdown. It was the first down. First down.
Yeah.
I did
Yeah.
see when they were close in the first half.
And they went for it instead of the field goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was another
Bonehead.
play.
Right. But either which way, the Eagles wind up going up 21-19. And they gave, I want to say they gave Cousins like a minute and 47 seconds, something like that. And he literally marches right down the field. Right down. And that was after the play he was talking about.
Yeah.
Barkley, like, drops, like, the pass, like, it was in the red zone, you know? He drops the pass because from what it looked like to me is he went to catch it, and as he's going to catch it, he starts to look to run,
Right,
and he drops it.
which is usually what happens.
Right, which is stupid. Catch the ball first, then make your moves. Anyway, and then what winds up happening is he drops the ball, they kick the field goal, they get the field goal, they go ahead, but they leave a ton of time on the clock, and Kirk Cousins just marches right down the field, scores a touchdown, and then game over. And that was it. But it was a great game. Like, the Eagles,
And
I don't know, the Eagles probably should have won that game
Of course they
a
should've
little
won
bit
that
easier
game.
than that, you know?
Of course they should have won
and I'm guessing the Texans won Sunday night.
that game.
Yeah,
Well,
they
Texans are looking.
didn't
great.
blow the Bears out of the water, but it looked like Caleb Williams was just not ready for that game. I'll say it like that. Like, he's just not. He's gonna have growing pains. Let's put it like that. But the Texans did just what they needed to do just to win the game. It was an okay game. Could the Texans blew them out? They probably should have, right? The Texans are supposed to be better than that. Like, with all their weapons,
The Texans offense is just.
they might lose Mixon though. He might be on the IL.
I did
Or
see
IR.
Really?
He got
Yeah, he's
hurt.
hurt, yeah.
He got hurt in that game.
I didn't see that, and I watched that game.
You must have missed it. Maybe you fell asleep for like 2 minutes.
Our boy Marvin Harrison finally came through.
I know. Monster game.
Monster
game. But he only had like 5 catches for 3,000 yards.
And what? Yeah, two
touchdowns, I think.
touchdowns.
Yeah. This game killed me on the other end too, because I have Cooper Kupp
Oh,
and another ankle injury
A
for him.
lot of injuries, man. A lot
Yeah.
of injuries.
So that's the thing. This week was marred with injuries. You had Pacheco go down,
Yeah.
Kupp go down,
Yeah.
and Pacheco has to get surgery. He's getting surgery like tomorrow.
Yeah, they just signed Kareem Hunt to the practice squad
I saw that.
the day after I freaking dropped him, of course.
You dropped Kareem Hunt?
Yeah, I drafted him just on a whim because I figured somebody had to sign him. I mean, what the hell? I didn't expect it to take this long, so then I gave up on him, and then of course.
You gave up on him before week 2? Like, you draft a guy, you don't keep him on
Well,
your bench?
I need it because my quarterbacks are all hurt and stuff.
How are your quarterbacks all hurt already? Who are your quarterbacks?
Tua. Tua's on the IR.
You picked Tua?
Yeah, man.
You're like the blind leading the blind sometimes. This guy's like one hit away from going.
Tuck him in like
to
the
retirement.
12th round, bro.
Wow. Which league is this? This is not the Linda League.
Yeah.
I'm 2-0 in that league, by the way. But I'm abysmal in the other ones.
I'm 0-2 and 0-2.
But now I have Cup in that league. I have to go scour the waiver wire for a wide receiver or try to make a trade. But my bench is so weak, I don't think I can even trade for nobody. But either which way, a rash of injuries. My boy Jermaine Johnson got hurt. He's out for the year. Achilles again.
Oof.
Like, that's like the 3rd Achilles injury just to the Jets alone in the last 2 years. You had Rodgers, you had Vera Tucker, and you had him. So that was scary, actually. I forgot to mention that when I was watching the game. Like, they had to cart him off.
Yeah.
You know, all the Jets went over to him and everything like that. He's a good player.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, so he walked off on his own, but he's wound up being done for the year. Kind of sucks. But I don't know. So we got week 3 on deck. It's Tuesday. The Jets play the Patriots this Thursday. So the Jets had one really bad game, and they had one good game. I'd say good. You win the game, it's good. They put up 27 points. It's a good game.
Yeah, I mean, they get.
Listen, I don't think we scored 27 points in 4 weeks last year, if you combine the scores. So I'm going to say good, just on the sake that they scored 27 points and had 3 big turnovers.
All right.
Okay? Good.
All right.
All right? With that being said, Ernie, I want you to catch us up on our first 2 weeks of picks before we get into our third weeks of picks. Give us the rankings of how good or how bad we truly are at picking football games.
All right. So far, it hasn't looked good for the Wanderer. So far after 2 weeks, Pugsies is leading the pack at 5-3.
Oh, that's not bad at all. I'll take that.
Yeah, you went 3-1 week 1 and 2-2 week 2.
All right.
I'm in second place.
Starting off hot.
At 2-6.
Oof.
1-3 both weeks.
Oh.
And Wanderer is 1-7 with
Whoa.
our first 0-4 week with week 2.
Oh, that's abysmal.
That being said, though, the Wanderer and I both have a couple of games where we had the right pick, but we lost out by a half a point on the spread.
Right. Okay. So you got hosed on the spread.
Yeah.
I get
so
it.
the Texans, I lost this week by half a point. Who else? I know that we had a couple of them. I think it was the Bills.
The Bills the first week.
Yeah, we both had the Bills the first week, and I think you had the Texans week 1.
Yeah.
That you got hosed by half a point.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah. So to answer your question, the Dolphins are placing Tua on the injured reserve.
Yeah.
So he's done for probably till the middle of October.
Yeah, I think I put it in the waiver.
So just like Cooper Kupp and just like a few other people that we were just talking about earlier. All right. So I guess since I'm the breadwinner so far, I'll start off my picks of this week. So it starts off Thursday night football. Nobody likes it, but we're gonna have to watch it anyway. Jets Pats. I almost feel like this is gonna be my one and only loss this week, but I'll probably wind now being 1-3 this week. But after saying that, so we got.
Pats haven't looked awful.
No, they're not. They're actually playing well, and they're not making mistakes. You know, they're the only team in football that hasn't had a turnover in 2
really?
weeks. That's why this game is like almost like I don't want to say a trap game because the Pats aren't bad right now, but they're giving the Jets 6.5 points. Well, they're giving the Pats 6.5 points. It's -6.5 for the Jets. This is their first home game. Let's just hope Aaron Rodgers has some magic up his sleeve and they can win by 7. Because I don't see them winning by more than 7 in this game. The Pats got a really good defense. Right now, Ramondre Stevenson has been running the ball all over the place, which is a little bit of a bugaboo for the Jets right now because even though they did better against the Titans, you know, they have 2 small running backs. They had Pollard and Spears. So, whatever. They got run all over the place against San Francisco. So, even with that, I'm still going to stay loyal to my Jets. This is the year for them to make the playoffs. I'm hoping I get more wins than losses with them. I'm not going to stray from them on week 3. Give me the Jets. Then we got my second pick, the Bears versus the Colts. The Colts are giving 1.5 points. I don't think Caleb's going to put it together. I think that, what is his name? Anthony Richardson is going to come back after his abysmal performance. He's going to have a good game. That's almost a no-brainer. Give me the Colts. Now you got to pick that. I'm actually sharing my pick with you guys, my number 3 pick. The Ravens and the Cowboys. I'm just picking this just sheer off of seeing the Ravens not going 0-3. I can't see that happening. Will Dallas show up? I think Dallas is at home.
Yeah,
so
which is not a good sign for the Cowboys.
when they're at home,
Yeah.
well, I'll take your word for it. I think this is going to be a hard-nosed game, almost like when the Ravens played Kansas City. I don't think it's going to be a blowout in either way.
I'm afraid it's going to be a blowout.
But give me the Ravens -1.
Cowboys favorite. I'll never go against the Cowboys, but
Right.
I'm feeling.
Too confident, right? But think about it. -1 is basically a pick 'em.
Right.
And they're on the road. They're giving a point to Dallas. So as long as they win by more than a point, I'm good. So give me the Ravens. And my last, this was my toughest pick because there was a bunch of these this week with the 2-point spread. The Chargers versus the Steelers. The Steelers are at home. They've been playing well. They've just been able to get the win by a few points here and there. They're giving the Chargers 2. The Chargers are never good going across the country. So give me the Steelers. They should be able to beat them by 2. No big deal. And that's it for me.
Well, that being said, I'm starting with the Chargers and taking the 2 points.
There you go. I like it. One of us is going to be a loser.
Root for my boy Herbert. Herbert. I think he's gonna.
His name is Herberte.
Yeah.
Okay.
And isn't it J.K. Dobbins that's been great so far this year?
He has.
He's due to blow out his knees.
100%. Yep. He's about to. This is about as far as he normally gets. Is week 3.
Especially when he's doing somersaults into the end zone. That genius.
I know. Like, just run the ball in, guy.
That being said, I'm still taking the Chargers.
All right.
I think the Steelers have been
I like it.
incredibly lucky this year. Have they even scored a touchdown yet this year?
Probably not.
Field starting.
That's the other
again.
thing. What's with all these teams winning with kicking field goals?
We'll get to that. That Giants game,
Oh my God.
7 field goals for the Washington Commanders.
I
And
think I saw something that said the first time in history where
yes,
a
first time in history that a team scores 3 touchdowns and loses without giving up a touchdown to the other team. But the kicker got hurt, so it was a coaching flaw. They didn't have a kicker, so they scored 3 touchdowns, which made it, 18, right? I didn't watch that game because I was at the
Right.
game, but did they? I want to know if they went for 2 ever. Like,
yeah,
was it-
I didn't watch it either because everybody that we're concerned about was playing at 1 o'clock.
right. And the funny thing is like, I'm no coach, right? But if supposedly what they were saying is the kicker was injured before the game, like not the beginning of the week, but sometime during the week. So wouldn't you suit up another kicker? And you had an empty roster spot.
Right. They only have 1 kicker on the roster.
That's what I'm saying. That's 1. 2, don't you have a punter? A punter can normally kick a 20-yard field goal. It's not much different.
Especially when it seems like they're picking these guys out of the scrap heap and they're kicking 60-yard field goals nowadays.
Right, exactly. So, like, a couple coaches' mistakes on that, and, like, I don't even know why you wouldn't give someone a chance to kick an extra point from, like, the 20-yard line. Like, let's see, give me your most athletic guy. Hey, champ, kick it try to kick a field goal.
Yeah.
Or, like, you have a punter. Why not use your punter? He's going to hold it, just kick it. He kicks for a living anyway. He just punts. So instead of holding the ball, someone's holding it for you. That should be easier. That's like me telling you, here's a bat. I'm going to hold this baseball, hit it out of my hand.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As opposed to me pitching it to you.
Um,
But anyway, they lost. Terrible. Showed signs of life. Neighbors did really good that game. But anyway, get back to your picks.
So my second pick, I'm taking the Raiders, given 5.5 against the lowly Panthers.
Good pick.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, Andy Dalton's playing this week, so that might change things, but we'll still go with the Raiders. Raiders are looking decent.
They just beat the Ravens.
Yeah, Gardner Minshew.
Yep. The Minch.
Third, I am taking the Seahawks, who are giving 4.5, playing the Dolphins. I don't even know who the Dolphins quarterback is.
Skylar Thompson.
Oh, it's not Mike White?
No, he's somewhere else now.
Oh, okay.
I think he may be with the Bills.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we're going with the Seahawks. They've been playing well, and Geno Smith has been looking. He had a monster game, right? I
Yep.
think that's who I put in the waiver wire move for Tua.
Not a bad idea. Or pick up Derek Carr.
And then finally, going with my Cowboys, getting 1 at home.
All right.
What a joke that is, but we'll keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah, let's see. It's going to be an exciting Sunday.
All right. I guess I'm up.
That's it. You're the last one, pal. Let her rip.
First up, I've got the Bucks at -6.5. They seem to be playing well. They just beat Detroit, so I think they keep it going Sunday. Next up, I also like the Raiders, winning by I guess 6 points or more. Hopefully we can get that cover. Next up, I have the Bills. That's one of the 2 Monday night games, I believe.
Yeah, 2 Monday night games this week.
Yeah.
Yep.
And both gonna be on at the same time.
Yeah.
I think they're a little staggered. Like one starts at 7 and one's like 7:30,
And one's
right?
on ESPN and one's on ABC.
That's so weird.
Yeah, so I like them to cover the number, and then for my 4th pick, I'm also going with the boys.
This has got to be a first time ever. You're actually taking the Cowboys 3 weeks in a row.
Definitely.
That can't be a good sign.
I don't
Well,
know.
yeah.
We'll see where we go with these picks. I'm excited to see what happens this weekend. We'll shift gears for a minute. We got the Yankees and Mets still going on now. We're at the home stretch, like one of our buddies said, Shady Brady. We're out of the dog days of summer, and we're into playoff baseball just about. The Mets have been playing playoff baseball for a while now, and the Yankees have been coming around. So, funny story. I think it was Friday night. We're at the Kid Rock place, and me and Devang are up on the top, like I told you about, right? Out of the corner of my eye, there's 4 TVs, and they shifted. They were 4 baseball games. They shifted to the Yankees, and I'm like, all right, whatever. Paulie and Tony are down on the other end, right in front of the band, and they're looking at me, and I'm like, I'm waving. I'm like, yo, come on up here. We had 4 seats. They didn't want to come up. They like being down there. I'm like, all right, whatever. I happen to just turn to watch the TV, and I see Juan Soto just walk, and Aaron Judge walk to the plate. The Yankees were losing 4-1, and I'm like, huh. So I'm drinking my drink, and I'm like, can't hear anything. All of a sudden, the pitch is thrown. He hits a bomb. I'm like, I'm going nuts. I'm like, oh my God. It's like the 7th inning. It's gone. I'm like 5-4. So now I'm like waving to these guys. I'm like, look at the TV. They're giving me the middle finger, whatever. I'm like, you knuckles, look at the TV. Jesus. They just hit a home run. We wound up winning the game 5-4. Fantastic, right? So the Yankees wind up winning like the first 2 games against Boston. Then I'm thinking the next day, all right, we got Garrett Cole on the mounds. I get to watch that game because we were at the bar. It was a 1 o'clock game, and he sucked. He didn't give up any home runs, but he just kept giving up singles and doubles left and right. And I was like, man, that was our way to just shut the door, right? And we couldn't do it. Then we come back on Sunday, and we wind up winning, and he winds up hitting his 53rd home run, another 2-run homer. And we beat Boston 5-2, which was good. And we have a 3-game lead against Baltimore right now. They're on the West Coast. They're playing tonight at 9 o'clock. I think it's against the Mariners. Yes, it is. It's actually Gill versus Wu.
Yeah.
And Wu is pretty good. He's 8-2 with a 2.38 ERA. And Gill's not much worse. 13-6, 3.18. Remember, he had those 2 or 3 starts where he got knocked around, and then he had his back issue. But, like, this is, I don't want to say this is a tough West Coast trip. You play the Mariners, who don't score a lot of runs. Can you take 2 out of 3? I hope so. And then you play the Oakland A's, who have nothing to play for, but they're always going to play them tough in Oakland because the West Coast trips are just hard, which is another reason why I picked the Chargers coming the other way against the Steelers.
You mean you picked the Steelers over the
No, I picked the Steelers, but my reasoning is the opposite
Right.
of from the baseball. Like, they're traveling. It's going to be tough for them to beat Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh's got a good D and whatever. So I'll take a 4-2 road trip. I'd like to see 5-1. I think if you went 5-1, the Orioles, like we've been talking about for weeks, if not months, they have been playing really bad baseball, even worse than the Yankees at times. So if you could just get to 5-1 on this road trip, maybe you gain another game or 2, and then you're up 5 games, and then you go into the last week of the season playing Baltimore and the Pittsburgh Pirates, and it almost like it doesn't really matter, even though it does, but it doesn't really matter. You win a couple games, and now you can start resting guys, and you should have the number 1 overall seed, and you get a bye, and everything, after everything we've been through all year, everything is right in Yankee land.
Yep.
So this is a big West Coast trip. you win a bunch of ball games, you might be able to you could keep your pedal to the metal and get guys in there that need to get sharp and whatever, need to get at bats, whoever you want to get in there. But then you don't have to really concern yourself with beating the balls off of Baltimore like you would have a week ago when it was a half game, you were a half game up or a half game back. You know what I mean? So that's important. It's pretty much all I want to say with that as of right now. I want to wait till next week until we're done with this road trip to see where we stand, then talk more about the next week.
Yeah.
As far as the Mets go, they're very gimmicky. They had Grimace there the other day. They dedicated a chair to Grimace. It's purple.
I
I'm
saw
like,
that.
what's going on? Lindor's going to be out for a few games, but his MRI came back positive. So
Negative?
Well, negative, but like a positive outcome, I guess you could say. So he should be back soon, and they're still holding a game lead on the Braves. So, I mean, everything's going all right for the
They're
Mets.
getting up on the Braves?
Yeah, I
right
believe
now?
so.
Yeah,
Yeah, they should be, right?
yeah.
Yeah, they're a game up on the Braves, and as long as they keep winning, they should be okay.
Yeah, a couple of very tough losses over the weekend. You know, they won Friday easily. They scored a bunch of runs. And Saturday they were up 4-0 very early, but they ended up losing. I think it was the center fielder made a great play on a ball hit. It was basically a home run by JD Martinez, but the guy, I think it was Stevenson or something. I forget, but the center fielder, he made a great play, and the Phillies were able to get that win. And then Sunday the Mets lost another close one where they had the lead and the bullpen gave it up late. They were able to win last night, which was big. I think they're only a couple games behind Arizona as well. The Padres put a little distance between them. So yeah, hopefully they can win some games and get in and go from there.
Yeah, so the Padres are up 3.5 on them right now.
Right. D-backs is 2.
Diamondbacks is 1 actually.
Oh, 1, even better.
Yeah,
There
so
you
that's
go.
great, right? Because being the last one, you get to go into the playoffs, but you're traveling
Yeah.
and you're playing 3 games, not any of which are be at Citi Field. So that's tough. At least if you can make it up to the Diamondbacks or I think it's the Padres actually, you'll get all the home games.
Right.
But yeah, you just want to make the playoffs and then go from there. The Mets are a very resilient team. I know I was joking on them earlier with being gimmicky, but like I truly believe they are because they keep throwing out all these different things.
Right.
But either which way, whatever works for them, I think if you would have told Met fans that they'd be in this race right now and you only got like 14 or so games left, maybe less, and they're in the playoffs as of right now, you'd sign on the dotted line for it because the outcome was, not going to be as good in the beginning of the season, especially when they first started April and parts of May. They were not looking great, and you would have never saw this coming. So I think you agree with me that you're happy where the state of their affairs are right now.
Definitely, and I also agree that it's good news with Lindor that it's only going to be a few games.
Yeah, 100%.
Because he's obviously been carrying the team.
Yeah, he's their catalyst. He's their catalyst for sure. And we talked last week with Shady Brady that he's our MVP for the National League, even though he won't get it. Ohtani will, of course, because he'll probably have 50 home runs and 50 stolen bases. But whatever, the Dodgers would have made the playoffs with or without him anyway. And he's not even pitching this year. If you told me he was DHing every day and then pitching every 5 days, and he's putting up 50-50 and 100 RBIs, then yeah, no one's gonna break it. No one's gonna break that streak unless you're Aaron Judge, and you set the home run record for the American League, which is what happened 2 years ago. With that being said, we'll see how all this unfolds in the next week. I'm getting pumped up for Yankee and Met playoff baseball. We'll see if that happens and how it shakes out. Shifting gears to our entertainment side of things, I'm almost done with the House of Dragons. I hate Delta Airlines because I wanted to finish it on the plane, and I couldn't because neither direction I was flying, they had Wi-Fi. It was broken.
Man.
Get out.
Yeah, I mean, the first flight down, the plane was old and rickety, so I kind of understood, and I was like, whatever. But we had like almost a brand new plane on the way coming back. Like, it was nice, newer plane, and I still didn't have Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So I'm lucky enough that I sat in a seat that had a TV that swung up because I was able to watch A Quiet Place day one.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
Yes.
Don't ruin it for me because the flight wasn't long enough. I didn't get to see the last 20 minutes.
Okay.
But it was looking good up until I stopped it.
Yeah. Not bad. Not bad.
Right? But once again, I didn't get. My plan was to watch 1 or 2 episodes on each flight, and then I would have finished it today. I only have 2 episodes left, but I'm pleasantly surprised of the second season. I like it better than the first season. There's a lot more fighting with the dragons, you know?
I haven't even started
Oh.
that.
Did you see season 1 or no?
Yeah.
Okay, so you just got to see season 2. All right, so I won't say much more than that, but a lot more dragons. I remember complaining last year about.
Significantly more.
Yeah, significantly more. It's almost like they watched our show and said, you know what, we're gonna give them more dragons, and we're giving them at least 25% more dragons, because every episode there's dragons in it, and whatever. Anyway, I can't wait for the end. I'm 2 episodes away. I'll be done literally by Thursday. Be ready to rock and roll. Talk about the ending. You should get up on it. Next up is probably the Tulsa King. That's out. I don't know if it's week to week or they drop it
Week to week.
Oh, so I'm not gonna be seeing that for a little bit. I don't know what I'm gonna watch next. Oh, I know the Lord of the Rings show should be
Yeah, I
done.
haven't seen that.
Did you watch the first season?
I did.
Good?
I like the first season of that better than I did the House of Dragons.
Okay. Wow.
So I'm excited to see that. And I think I checked it before I went away last week. I think they're only another episode away and everything's out. So by the time I'm done with this,
Well, I guess it
I
must
should
have been
roll.
good if they made a second.
yeah, no, it was good. It was definitely good. It's a prequel from all the other stuff. So like even before The Hobbit, I think, if I remember correctly, because these are when like the rings were like just forged or something like that. But definitely watch that. I think that's all. I don't know what else is on my list, but I'm gonna watch that. I'm halfway through that Instigators movie. I might have to rewatch that because I don't remember anything from that. So I'll get into that. And don't forget that tomorrow, Disney Plus is releasing the first 2 episodes, I think, of the Agatha
Well,
series,
it's tomorrow.
which was part of the WandaVision thing. She was the witch and the bad guy in that. So that might be good. I saw the clip of that. It didn't look terrible. So I'll check that out eventually as well. But that's all I got because I was away. I didn't get to watch really anything else. Anyone else watch anything?
I finished Mayor of Kingstown, which was good. I don't know if there's going to be a 4th season.
You don't think?
I don't, just because of, I don't know. I can see both ways. I can see that if it was, I don't know how popular it was, how well it did, but if it did do well, I could see that, they left it open where they could continue it. I don't know how good it would be, but I can see where it ends too, because one, she's gone, right? And the brother gets carted off to jail, which that's not going to end well. So it's almost where you can see that that's the end of the show right there, because everything that he's truly concerned about is gone.
Right, but to your credit, you could see it going both ways, right? Because the next season could be him fighting for his brother to get out of jail.
Right, but are they going to make a whole season out of that?
No, but like each season has like 3 or 4 different stories in there. One, that's one. 2, the girl's definitely gonna come back because she has a thing for him, 100%. She's not gonna stay away long, not at all. Like I know they gave her a whole thing and she disappeared.
No.
Oh,
She.
yes.
Yes.
Did you watch Mayor of Kingstown?
That's all right.
Oh, you didn't watch it?
No,
I thought you saw it already.
I think I saw the first season.
All right, never
I thought
mind.
I had to watch it because everybody else watched it already.
That's all right.
Come on,
No,
man.
no, it's that's on me.
I forgot about that. So yeah, That's gone. All right, but you still have the brother, and then there's Bunny.
Okay, but that's it. Everybody else is gone.
There's always something else. How about from season 1 to season 2? That guy Milo left, right? Left, and then that other guy took his place. I forget his name. The beard with the
Yeah.
Right. I understand, but what I'm saying is you don't think they're gonna bring a replacement in to take care of that other stuff? They did it the first to the second season. You don't think someone else is gonna take that territory?
Nah.
All right. I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll see. Because I definitely could see it coming. I know a lot of people that watched that show and liked it. So I personally think it's going to come back for at least a 4th season. Then after that, it should be done. Because with shows like this, you tend to do the same thing too much. And they're dangerously close. So they got to have a good writing team to like separate it a little bit. And make it still a little bit fresh. And then cut it. Because then... if they do season 5 is gonna be absolute dog shit. I'll tell you that right now. You have one more season that you can milk it, and then that's it, in my opinion, with something like that.
What about you, Wanda?
Yeah, I didn't really watch much with the quick turnaround, but I did start Rebel Ridge last night. I was enjoying it, but I still have like 40 minutes left, I think.
What's Rebel Ridge?
Movie. I saw that. I wasn't too.
Yeah? You didn't like it?
What's it about?
Same kind of. It's almost like the same kind of storyline as Mayor of Kingstown. Not as detailed, and it's obviously a movie. It's not a series. But I didn't particularly. I wasn't too fond of the acting. There wasn't anybody. No major stars in it. And I wasn't
All right.
crazy about it.
All right. Sounds good. All right. I get it. All right, Wonder. Let's hit us with the music and let's wrap this baby in a bow.
3 picks as usual. First up, we have Ka with The Thief Next to Jesus. Next up, we have Toro y Moi with Whole Earth. And third up, this is an older selection, Deftones with Owens. Those are the 3 picks for this week.
Dope. I will say this on a closing note. My fantasy teams better pick it the hell up. You're disrespecting me.
What about mine?
Okay, I got one team that's doing good at 2-0. One is 1-1, and one is 1-3. And I know that sounds weird because we're only in week 2, but we have this point system. I think I discussed it last year. So I'll get a win because I was over the median, but I've lost 2 in a row. I don't like it. I'm a winner. I'm a 3-time champ. Guys better get it together on my team, all right? I don't draft bums, all right? With that being said, good luck to the Yanks and the Mets. Let's go Jets. Let's go Cowboys, I guess, and the Giants. That's all I got. Folks, enjoy your week. We'll see you next week.
Till
Take
next time.
care.